it's not my topic today, but one thing I'll share with you. When you go to an expensive restaurant, order nothing but appetizers. You'll get out of there much more cheaply, and they lavish attention on appetizers and also desserts. Never order a main course. It's always a ripoff. And that's stuff libertarians take very seriously. So here's what Tyler Cowen says. Our techno-globalizing world has made it possible for prosperous people to be appreciative and tasteful consumers of the products of a diverse array of cultures. It's easier than ever, and isn't this great, to enjoy the food, the music, the literature, and the art of other cultures without having to be actually dragged into the repressive morality and limited horizon of any particular culture. So we can consume it without being it. This has got to be great. So, for example, it's surely wonderful to consume French food without having to be saddled with all the emotional baggage that comes with actually being French. Just as it's wonderful to be able to admire on the internet the art of Papua New Guinea without having to engage in the sweaty, risky business of hunting and gathering and fighting and being haunted by the imaginary presence of evil spirits. So let them go through all the work of hunting, gathering, fighting, and being haunted, and we can just enjoy the results of that. So today's bohemian is a multiculturalist, finding self-fulfillment from a relatively unobsessive but meaningful perspective of the tourist or the hobbyist, exploring a huge and diverse menu of the good things that the world has to offer. That's why the study of world religions has become so popular. It's basically unthreatening fun to learn about all the sundry gods and goddesses without having to be stuck with the love, cruelty, fear, and tough personal discipline that actually comes with believing in any of them. So such enjoyment is perfectly compatible with the individualistic view that every human endeavor is voluntary or freely chosen. And so the libertarian says we no longer should view our lives as wholes, but as a series of enjoyable experiences. The only thing you really know is productivity. Everything else is autonomous enjoyment. So you would think the professors of the humanities would be waging a counterattack on behalf of the soul, on behalf of the reality of human dignity, on behalf of the fact that autonomy is not empty, on the fact that we're much more as human beings than productive beings, but they're not. All right, the most famous professor of the humanities in my time, although he may be fading a little, is Stanley Fish. You know this guy, Stanley Fish? Very smart guy, excellent basketball player in his old age. So Stanley Fish, one of the most notable practitioners and defenders of liberal education, says that, he complains, it seems, in an article called The Last Professor, that our universities are more than ever being defined by the ethic of measurable productivity and efficiency. And how many of you professors know they've got to measure everything now? Everything has to be measured. Like you teach in Republic, and I turn the students around, soul around 38%. Still in the cave, but turned around a little bit. Never mind. All right. So increasingly, he complains that humanities seem impractical and unaffordable. Higher education, our administrators think, need not waste time and money on teaching students how to learn the products, how to enjoy the products of other cultures tastefully. They can pursue their hobbies on their own. So the humanities have become hobbies, and why teach it? So the faculty member, Fish observes, who delivers insight and inspiration is obsolete because neither he nor his bosses really believes he has the warrant to tell the students what to do or how to live. But Fish doesn't spend a lot of time blaming himself for this. He has said all along, from his postmodern view, nothing humanities professors teach is real. So all he does is teach. He says, you know, the productivity guy said, you don't teach anything real. And he says, I still want my high-paying job, but you're right, I don't teach anything real. But in this article, I'm cutting a lot of good stuff here, in this article, Fish kind of admits that. And he named the article as The Last Professor, and the suppressed theme of the article is, they're on to us, so no professor of the humanities after me is going to make big bucks. Thank God I'm retiring soon. But according to this postmodern view that the humanities is just autonomy, untethered by anything real, how much money should he make? You can explore your hobbies on your own. So, so you might want to say, and this is a serious point, who cares? So autonomy is empty, productivity is real, people are anxious, just beneath the surface of our pragmatism, Solzhenitsyn says, there's the howl of existentialism. But every time I tell the libertarian about it, he said, that's the price you pay for freedom. So, I mean, when do say stop whining? Would you rather live now than back then when people had more purpose? But my rejoinder, I got 86 rejoinders, but I don't have time to share one with you. Mine is, if autonomy has no content, if our freedom is nothing but autonomy, or unrestricted, unregulated self-definition, we'll end up surrendering our freedom. All right, let me quickly give an example of this. Consider that a perfectly technological world would be one in which every natural resource was harnessed to maximize the productivity of free beings. Your biotechnology, in effect, adds your body to that list of natural resources. And the philosopher of unregulated individualism, John Locke, really did say that my body is my property to be exploited at will with my security and enjoyment in mind. This insight that my body is my property, just another natural resource to be exploited, is the source of our enthusiasm today for cosmetic surgery and cosmetic neurology. It would seem that enhancing the body of a perfectly healthy individual would be a violation of the Hippocratic Oath. Because here's one thing the Hippocratic Oath says: don't turn a person into a patient for a reason that has nothing to do with health. And what does your typical Malibu plastic surgeon do? Turn a person into a patient for reasons having nothing to do with that person's actual health. But today we allow autonomy to trump the Hippocratic Oath. I mean, it's up to me to decide if I want to be a patient. But what are the main reasons people nip and tuck and Botox and all that? The truth is to look younger and more pleasing and more productive. The truth is to avoid the insignificance and indignity of being unproductively old, alone, and poor. So in real life, autonomy, once again, is subordinated to dignity, understood only as productivity. No higher meaning of dignity than productivity. And if there really is nothing wrong with physical or mental or emotional enhancement, the pressure will be on all of us to be as young and pleasing and as pretty as long as we can be.